Well, good evening, one and all. It looks like it's me. I'm here, and I'm ready to start the stream. I know I've got like 2 minutes before it was supposed to start, but what the hell? I'm just a maverick that way. Yeah, like this is kind of a follow-on from Thursday's stream where we were covering True Romance. There, Gary and I were just getting through the super chats, no problem. And then the long man cometh, and so you can imagine what that did to our pacing. So there was just no way I was going to get through all the remaining super chats that night. So I thought, better just knock it on the head for then, and I would come back to it a couple of days later. I actually should have done it last night, but I was out in Edinburgh getting absolutely rat-arsed. And I'm feeling distinctly hungover today, so I'm going to do my best to get through this one. So let me just see if I can figure out where I got to with all of this. All right, looking back. Oh yeah, here it is. So yeah, the last one I got to was from RRTNZ. So the next one was from Past the Whiskey, and he said, "Hello lads, happy hours on Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood when." There Will Be Blood is one of my favourites, but both are great films. They are indeed. And yeah, man, There Will Be Blood's incredible acting from Daniel Day-Lewis. A very, very long, I don't even know how you describe it. There's almost like a dreamlike quality to a lot of the scenes because there's just these big, long stretches with no dialogue, but just the big, pervasive soundtrack, like absolutely hammering it. But an incredible movie. So yeah, I'd be happy to talk about either of those, really. Badly Drew says, True Romance, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Dusk Till Dawn. A briefcase featured in all. It did indeed, yeah. Briefcases are a big thing for Tarantino. It allows you to hide the MacGuffins more easily, I suppose. What was the next one? Geek Chorus says, Val Kilmer's Elvis was pretty damn cool. He was, yeah. I mean, imagine having Val Kilmer in your movie in the early 90s and basically never even showing his face. But he does a pretty mean Elvis impression, so yeah, I'll let it go. And yeah, I just love the fact that Clarence just keeps imagining him there whenever he needs guidance in life. He's like, what would Elvis do? J Fraser 360 says, aside from Spider-Man 3, the only MCU film I look forward to is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for the characters, setting, and awesome soundtrack. I mean, yeah, I think Guardians 3 will be fine. Like, James Gunn knows what he's doing, so I wouldn't have any worries about it being a bad movie as such. You know, the second one was a wee bit shaky at times, but it had Kurt Russell in it, so fucking that makes up for it, I guess. George Heron, so I'm just looking in chat as well. I'm trying to, like, flick between them. Said to me, do you have any hope for the Dune series that will be coming out this winter? I'm just thinking about the movie, so I didn't know there was another series of Dune as well. But yeah, the Villeneuve movie I'm quite excited about. Hopefully they do it justice. Claire Callaghan says, is True Romance one of the drinkers' favourites? I certainly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching it. I'd watched it years ago and kind of forgotten about it, or at least forgotten the name, because like when I came to rewatch it for the stream, I was like, oh yeah, this looks pretty familiar to me. So I think it was a long time ago I'd seen it, but yeah, it's a fucking good movie. Again, another film that you would just never be allowed to make today. Yeah, JC Young said, James is the same guy who gave us the reboot Suicide Squad. That is true. I've not got much hopes for that movie. So versus Guardians of the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy 3, is it more a matter of source matter or source material? Not necessarily, because the Guardians of the Galaxy comics I don't think were ever particularly popular. They were absolute like bottom tier characters when Gunn took over with them. And he turned it into a pretty damn profitable movie. So he obviously did something right, and there wasn't great source material to work from. I don't have much hope for the new Suicide Squad movie because the trailer looked gash. I just wasn't impressed with that at all. But I always got the impression that he was just trying to like get out of the way so he could move back into Guardians 3. Anime Slayer saying we're all melting in the UK. Yeah, fuck we are, aye. It's even hot up here in Scotland. I think you can see like a wee bit of sweat on my forehead. So on the plus side, it's sweating out all the booze. So you know these things balance out, I guess. What's my next super chat here? Aaron Klein says, "Hail Drinker and Gary, have you two seen Knockaround Guys? I don't know about Gary. I haven't seen it, I'm afraid. David Parks says, Drinker, what about Sleuth, the 1972 version with Laurence Olivier and Michael Caine? I don't think I've seen Sleuth. No, that's not ringing any bells, man. I don't know. Raphael Scapella says, I like your strong opinions against Hollywood's leftist agenda. You encourage me to voice my opinions in my videos, albeit to a much smaller audience. Well, good. The more people that voice their displeasure, the better, really. John McCarthy says, Drinker, I can't wait for the movie version of Redemption starring Tessa Thompson as Rihanna Drake. I will have Brie Larson in there as like Miranda Kane. It practically writes itself. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't imagine Disney will ever be buying up the rights, though, so I should be all right. Black Multicam says, either of you seen Judgment Night with Dennis Leary and Emilio Estevez, lesser-known film that captures the feel of 90s action thriller as well? No, I've not seen that. I mean, Emilio Estevez being in a movie is usually not a massive sign of quality, but, you know, give the guy a break, I suppose. Ken C says, A Bridge Too Far. A Bridge Too Far is a fucking incredible war movie. It's definitely on my list to review. I love it. I mean, talk about an all-star cast as well. A Syrian guy says, have you seen Requiem for a Dream? Yeah, it's an intensely depressing movie, and I've got not much love for it, if I'm honest with you. It's just like everything's shit for everybody at the end. Everyone just has a horrible life and fails at everything, and it's, yeah. But hey, the soundtrack was popular. Eddie Gonzalez asks me, how do you save the Terminator saga? Don't make any more movies. There you go. And just decanonize everything after Terminator 2, because none of them are really worth it. Maybe Salvation. You could probably keep that in. But apart from that, yeah, just forget about the rest of it. You can't keep doing Terminator films. You know, there's nowhere else to take the franchise. They started to go down a different path with Salvation, but audiences didn't really warm to it. So, yeah, I don't really think there's much more you can do with Terminator. And it always needed Arnold to make it work, and Arnold's too old for it now. So there's not really much else you can do there. Okay, so what's this one? Can we get 193 subscribers with no videos challenge? He's saying, has the Bond franchise gone for too long? No, I mean, it's the nature of Bond. Like, it could keep going forever. You just change out your actor when he gets too old and away you go. But it's gone on too long under Daniel Craig. He is not the guy to be playing Bond anymore. And I don't really have faith in modern Hollywood to be able to produce Bond movies that are actually still fun and keep to the spirit of Bond. I just don't think it's compatible with like modern Hollywood culture. So, yeah, I don't know what you can do there. You need someone who can actually protect it and like respect the source material, and just vow to like keep Bond essentially Bond. What's the next super chat? Mark Khalif says, leave Tessa Thompson alone and her forehead. I love her. Sorry, Tessa. Sty Games says, the finale of Loki was painfully similar to that terrible ending of this Final Fantasy VII reboot game on PS4. If the MCU somehow becomes part of the Kingdom Hearts game later, I'll eat a window. Fair enough. I've not played the Final Fantasy VII reboot, though, and I keep wanting to, because Az has played it, he says it's really good, and I was a massive fan of Final Fantasy back in the day, especially 7. That was definitely my favourite, so I don't know, man, I just haven't got around to playing it yet. Sectus Gaming says, just wanted to thank you, Drinker, for waking my friend up to the wokeism problem in our entertainment. God bless. Thank you. And, well, the more people that realise it, the better, so it's good to know. Jackson asked me, or said, I don't necessarily disagree, but what do you mean by Quentin Tarantino is self-indulgent in his movies? Hope it isn't exploring one's belief or theme. That would be contradicting of you. I think with me, it's just the pacing of some of Tarantino's films. You know, he's obviously great at writing dialogue. He can have just a scene of two people talking over a table and make it fascinating with good casting, good writing, all the rest of it. I think sometimes you can get a bit too caught up in that and have the scenes go on for a bit too long. That's when it just drags a little bit for me. So that's kind of where I was going with that. And I think you didn't get that so much in his earlier movies. I thought they were tighter paced, and he knew when to rein it in. But that's just me. Rob Lee 1066 gave me $20, so thank you, sir. Claudio Rogajan says, the bodyguard played the gay pimp in American Pie 3. He had assless chaps in one scene, but he's a really funny actor. It's good that he's still getting work, you know, because this is obviously an early 90s movie, so it's good to know he's still kicking. Dan S says, you're not Starfire. No, I'm not. That comic was that. As soon as I see the trailer for it, just looked legendary. Jesus Christ. It's a total mystery why manga's totally dominating the comic industry now. Andre Jones says, critical drinker, nerdrotic. Good to see you fellas. I rather enjoyed how you two roasted the new Doctor Who. Thank you. I think we both enjoyed roasting it. But yeah, I pretty much burned out with Doctor Who when I did that final review of The Timeless Child, like the season finale. It broke me. I just thought, nah, this show's a lost cause now. It's not even worth reviewing at this point. So I'm kind of done with it. But hey, it was fun while it lasted. Joe Nerdahall says, anyone who doesn't love this movie is a Sicilian. And we all know where they came from. Darth Lovejoy says, just watched the episode 1 of The Watch. Congratulations, BBC. The pandemic is now the second worst thing that's happened this year. Jesus, is it that bad? I must investigate further. I mean, I don't have much faith in what comes out of the BBC these days. Next one. Cloud61592 says, Gary, would you ever consider doing an autobiography or inspirational book? And if so, would you have the drinker write it for you? Also, if you don't hear from me, call the president. I can't answer for Gary there, but if he wanted me to write his biography, I would happily help him out. Because it seems like the man's lived a life. I'll say that. Joe Majais gave me a $5, so thank you, mates. Nick B says, will we get a Back to the Future trilogy stream? Damn right we will. Those are special things that I'm saving for the right time, though. Jack Sun says, whenever I try to write with my lead pencil, my mind tempts me to write my meat pencil instead. Any advice in staying focused in writing? You've got to get it all out, man. You know, you work with your meat pencil until there's nothing left, and then you can get right into the writing, and you'll be focused on that then. But yeah, you've really got to just set yourself a schedule and just say, I'm going to get this much done today, and come what may, it's going to happen. Next one, I can't read it because it's in Japanese characters, but it says, please, Gary, cover the Orville with that fedora one or not. I'll let Gary know. Laramie Hirsch says, Gary or Drinker, have either of you read any of the Arctoons comics? Any thoughts? I've not read them. Gary might have, though, because he's the comic guy. What's the next one here? Who do you think's the most overrated director of all time? That came from Ankit Mustafi. It's probably going to be J.J. Abrams. I know we all dislike his work, but I think he still gets a huge amount of mainstream praise. And the man's shit at what he does. He just produces, factory-produced, generic garbage with lots of lens flare. So yeah, he would probably be my sort of modern overrated director. Team Worm says, the MCU won't be able to recapture that little franchise that could momentum from when Marvel was a fledgling studio making a movie about a B-list hero with an indie director and a washed-up leading man. It's Disney now. Yeah, I mean, Iron Man was something special as a movie. Like, even now I can go back and watch it, and it's genuinely really entertaining. It's barely dated, apart from the fact that, it's fun, which clearly means it's not been made in the last 5 years. But yeah, it's a really great movie. Robert Downey Jr. was the perfect guy to be playing Tony Stark. And it's the film whose success started the entire MCU. Like, if Iron Man had flopped, none of this would have happened. So, damn. But yeah, it's now King of the Hill as far as franchises go. I mean, it's made however many $shit-zillion dollars. And it's only really downhill from here. Like, it can't really climb much higher than it already has. And it just feels like it's starting to go down that road. It's teetering on that brink of decline. Daniel Leinart says, Drinker, have you seen Dreamscape from 1985, starring Dennis Quaid, Kate Capshaw, and Christopher Plummer? Inception and The Cell definitely stole from it. I've heard of Dreamscape, but I've never got around to watching it. But man, that's a pretty decent cast, so I'd definitely like to see it. Willow Wookie says, watch See No Evil, Hear No Evil last night. Laughed my bollocks off. What's your Gary's thoughts? Yeah. I remember that film. It's Richard Pryor, as I recall, and Dan Aykroyd. I think it's the two of them. But yeah, it was a fucking great movie. Really funny. Just, again, the kind of film that you probably wouldn't get today. But I've got fond memories of that one. Claudio Rogajan says, same with you, Gary. I was a fan of True Blood myself. It lost me when Bill became a villain. Nice going, making the main character unlikable. Fuck off. It sounds like that one fell off a cliff. Have I seen Tomorrow War? No, but I'm actually going to watch it after this. I've been meaning to do it for ages, and now I'm going to go watch it once I do this stream. And I'm hoping to do a nice review. I have no idea if it's good or not. I've heard mixed things about it, but just go into it with an open mind, I guess. What's the next one? Lost my place there. Oh yeah, here we go. Dre Fraser 360 says, Gary, will you be doing streams for Amazon's Lord of the Rings with Josiah, Doomcock, and Just Some Guy? Drinker, will you do a 20th anniversary stream? Yes, absolutely. That seems like the right time to do it, actually. So it would be like December it came out, back in 2001. I remember still going to the cinema and seeing it and just being absolutely blown away by it. I couldn't believe how good a job they did with like one of my favorite books. So yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Yep, not got much faith in the Amazon version, but we'll see. Remy Detrue says, Drinker, just bought Redemption today and only found out thanks to Friday Night Tights last week. Hey, nice. Can't wait to read it, especially since you're a Clive Cussler fan. Love you both. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. And I hope you enjoy. Trinoculus P says, Drinker, would you consider reviewing The Mechanics starring Charles Bronson? Yes, I would. That would be a good one. I've never done a Charles Bronson movie, so it's about time. Andre Jones says, Drinker, you're a Fallout fan? Awesome. Yeah, of course. Fucking the aesthetic of the Fallout games is fantastic. I love that like future apocalypse, but it's like retro futuristic technology they've got. It's great. The sort of dark humor that runs through everything is awesome as well. And I love every time it manages to blow you away. Like when you open the vault doors for the first time, you get out of whatever vault you've been in and you see the wasteland for the first time. It's just brilliant. So yeah, great series. Papa Bull says, Hail gentlemen, I disagree that losing money will change anything. This is the attempted conversion of non-believers to a non-theistic religion. I don't know. I mean, I still think Hollywood's profit-driven. I think they've excused some of this stuff up until now because a lot of the movies have still made money regardless. But I think if they have enough flops in a row, they will run out of cash to make new movies. So they've got no option but to change course, I think. Aaron Lekasic says, Hail gentlemen, enjoying the stream. Have either of you considered reviewing the recent action movie called Nobody? It's really good in my opinion. Yeah, that is on my list to watch. So yeah, that and Tomorrow War, I'm going to be watching both of them and hopefully reviewing them both. So there we go. John Ghost gave me a super sticker for $10. Thanks, man. Pass the Whiskey says, some extra money-tisms for the Long Man's cameo appearance. Nice. Love the old True Romance commentary from Smiler AI and Mr. Longman. Hi, Rags. Nice. Yeah, it was great to have him while we're on. As much as he slowed down the super chats things, it's always fun to talk to him. Joseph Papp says, ever seen Mayhem on Shudder? It's awesome. No. Japanese character person gave me £10 and says, Hail Muller. Salad Cream Boy says, Chris Watkins, I Know I'm Dead scene is glorious. It really is. Really is. Miscellaneous Goblin says, do you only review things that you didn't like? No, not at all. That's why I've got the Drinker Recommend series for movies that I loved. And basically I've got a whole second channel pretty much devoted to praising movies that I really enjoy. So yeah, there's lots of things that I've come away from with a great experience. So I feel like I've had a bit of a bad run at it recently, and I've watched kind of a lot of shit films and TV shows. So I'm hoping to bounce back with something good soon. I need to balance out things. Tom says, what's my second channel name? It's called Critical Drinker After Hours. So yeah, you'll find a whole bunch of extra reviews there. They're under the title Drinkers Extra Shots, so they're like shorter reviews, maybe like 5-6 minutes, where I just talk about older movies that I've really enjoyed or whatever. And it just seemed like a good way of doing it. Like maybe things that didn't have broad enough appeal for the main channel, but I wanted to talk about them anyway. Yo says, are there any World War II movies you'd recommend? There's a million of them. God, where to start? A Bridge Too Far, fantastic. Bridge. I'm just going to talk about bridges. Bridge on the River Kwai, another great one, and The Bridge at Remagen. All three of those are great World War II movies about bridges, and they're really good. They're all from that classic sort of 1960s era, where they made fantastic films. There's another one called The Big Red One, which has got Lee Marvin and Mark Hamill in it, and it kind of follows a US squad like all throughout the war, from like North Africa all the way to like France and then Germany and stuff. And man, it's got some harrowing scenes in it, but yeah, brilliant performances all around, and just a great movie. So that would be another one. And I need to also, it's on my list to review Das Boot, because that is a brilliant series about a German U-boat, and it's kind of told from their point of view. So it's it's pretty cool. Like, what's the next one? Claudio Rogajan says, CW writing, Gary. Effing Smallville has better writing than these Disney shows. At least they had a clear vision from beginning to end. Your thoughts? I don't know about Gary, so I couldn't answer that one, unfortunately. I never watched much of Smallville back in the day. It never quite appealed to me. John Ghost gave me a $50 super sticker, so thank you very much for your generosity, man. I appreciate it. Brett Cohen says, is NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, the new storytelling for the new surf pleb class to just consume as under 20s seems sold on this current drivel? I don't know what that refers to, but in terms of like how movies are produced now and how they're written, there's a definite structure to it, and it's not a good one. And I don't know if people like me are just, and Gary, we're like too old for them to care about. Like it's about grabbing the people when they're young and impressionable, and getting them bought into things that way. Someone's referencing Stalingrad here. It was done by the same guys who made Das Boot. Fucking hell. Makes a lot of sense, actually, when I think about it. But yeah, that's another cracking World War II movie. What's the next one? Joseph Papp says, listening to this makes me glad the last Star Wars I saw was Revenge of the Sith, and I've only watched 5 Marvel flicks. Just stick with that, you'll be fine. That's probably the way to live, and you'll be a happier person for it. John Papa Sergio said, if the TVA was unaware of the void and thought everyone died when pruned, how the hell could they set the temp pad to travel there? Great question. How the fuck do you get out of the void with a temp pad? Because it seems like they can just leave with no problems. There's so many questions about that show. How can like entire existences end up on one planet as well? Like if you're talking about something the size of the fucking universe, like wouldn't it take galaxies worth of space to store all the stuff that was getting pruned? Fuck knows. RRTNZ says, cheers, gents. Loki is an incredibly dumb show wearing smart show's clothing. To be honest, Alligator Loki has more agency than the main character. Grant's Loki was great, but brief. Everything else was rubbish. Yeah, Richard E. Grant's Loki was fucking brilliant fun to watch. I love how he was in the classic like comic book costume. That was good fun, that bit. John Ghost gave me a $50 super sticker. Thank you, my friend. That's very much appreciated. Justin Stahl gave me $10. Thank you. Brett Cohen says, we all wanted Budapest. Yes, we did. Wouldn't it have been nice to see what had happened between Hawkeye and Black Widow in Budapest? Like two highly trained agents going head to head and eventually teaming up together. That would have been great, but that wasn't the film we got. We got garbage instead. John Ghost gave me another $50 super sticker. Damn, man, you were on a roll that night. Very much appreciated. John Parson gave me $5, so thank you, sir. Ian Soforths gave me £75. Cheers, mate. That is very generous of you. And you said exactly, so whatever you said, well done to the aforesaid. Thank you. Matthew Derbyshire says, love your live streams. They make long journeys a lot more bearable. P.S. Would you do a Drinker's Extra Shots for Requiem for a Dream? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure if I'd enjoyed it enough to recommend it like that, so I'd be struggling there. I'd probably need to rewatch it again to really get a sense of it, but I didn't come away from it enjoying it. Marksman of 117B says, Beasts of No Nation, based on a book about the child soldiers of the civil wars in Africa, co-starring Idris Elba. The trailer will hook you. Worth it. Sounds all right to me. Like, I'll give it a look. Yeah, Yo here says, I thought back then Black Widow would be about Budapest, and Taskmaster would be the main villain. Yeah, wouldn't that have been good? Yeah. There were so many better things they could have done with Black Widow, and it's like they chose the worst possible option. A. Lungard Hayes says, I think he's just reading old messages and donations. Not to worry now. I got to the end of all the super chats from the other night, so I'm back in the regular chat now, so I'm going to try and catch up with what we're seeing here. What is it? Mick Lally said, Drinker's Happy Hour for Return of the Living Dead. Oh, that could be good. I'd like to do more zombie movies. Wait till October, and then I can do some horror stuff. Content Ganja says, Mr. Drinker's opinion on tomorrow's war. I'll let you know tomorrow, because I'm going to be watching it after this stream, so I'm looking forward to it. JF Sicko 1 says, Drinker, I can't remember the last time I was excited for a film. I'm just going to bring it up here. It's for a film in the cinema. Anything on the horizon you're looking forward to? I mean, probably Dune. I'll look forward to that, mostly because I'm a fan of the book. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm like, yeah, like there's not much I get excited for anymore in the cinema, because there's been so many bad experiences, and it just kind of wears you down a little bit. That's why I try to balance it out by doing like other movies that I really enjoy, and just kind of it maintains a bit of optimism, I think, for me. What else have we got here? Have you seen Better Call Saul? Sorry, it pinged away there before I could get to it. Oh yeah, Afrojack says, have you seen Better Call Saul? It's one of the best shows on television right now. Yeah, so, I mean, I loved... fucking hell, I forgot the name of it. Jesus Christ. Breaking Bad. What the hell happened to my brain there? It just shut down. Yeah, I mean, watched Breaking Bad like all the way through. Loved it. Fantastic acting, fantastic characters, fantastic development of everything over such a long, period. And Walter White is just genuinely one of the best characters that TV's produced in the last decade. But I tried to get into Better Call Saul, and I think from what I've been told, the first season is kind of slow going. And then it kind of picks up after that. I just couldn't quite get through the first season. I just found it a bit... Yeah, I wasn't liking it in the same way that I liked Breaking Bad. And I know it's kind of a different show, and obviously Saul's a very different character, but yeah, it never quite grabbed me in the same way, and I think maybe I need to give it another chance. Have a Pie Bill Gates says, ass or tits? Tits, definitely. Yeah, I did a poll of this on Twitter once, and I was really surprised. I thought tits would walk away with it, but it was like 54 to 46 for tits. I was surprised. There are a lot of ass men out there, I guess. What else have we got here? So I think there's a few super chats that have come in while I've been doing this as well. So let me just have a look at some of them. Where are they? Oh yeah, here we go. Tara Sadowski gave me $5 and said, why do you think Hollywood is still able to produce such great films while the Hays Code was in effect, but seems totally incapable of doing so today? Interesting. I think because the Hays Code, it didn't stifle creativity in quite the same way that the rules today do. And I guess it's hard to pin down, but I think you were still free to tell fairly classic stories back then in ways that you can't do now. Like everything has to be subverted, everything has to be like broken down and deconstructed. And I think that's the problem that you have nowadays. And you can't tell sort of classic stories anymore because they're problematic for that reason. So I think that's the problem that we have, or one of the problems that we have nowadays. Bird Up says, I took your advice from the last catch-up and watched some Father Ted. Father Jack is a legend. He really fucking is. For everyone watching this, like if you want a good comedy show, watch Father Ted. It's amazing. Nick Makovina says, greetings, drinkers. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Thoughts on the show, The Terror. Season 1 was great. Season 2, not so much, in my opinion. Yeah, I enjoyed the first season of The Terror. It works in the supernatural elements pretty effectively, and it's kind of subtle to begin with, but it gradually builds up. And I like the fact that it's based on these real ships that disappeared and nobody quite knows what happens to them. And in terms of like a location for a horror, like, man, it's pretty cool. Like, you're stuck like encased in the ice in your ship. It's the middle of winter. It's dark for like a month on end. You can't go anywhere. You've got like rations that are running low and everything. It's great fodder for a horror film or for a horror series. Season 2, I think, was set in like a Japanese internment camp or something. It's got fuck all to do with the first one. So yeah, it's just like they went on a completely different path with it. It's weird. I never really had any interest in watching season 2. OK Native says, hot. I average 32 degrees and 60% humidity on a good day. Imagine the parts of the USA that get really hot. Yeah. In Scotland, we've got a very different definition of what's hot. Like, basically anything above like 15 degrees and it's taps off weather. And you see lots of beer guts going around when that happens. Sarcastic John says, hey, Will, do you like Stephen Leather's books? I've read a few of them. They're decent enough, like action thrillers. I was never like, I was never captivated by them, never became like a big fan, but like they definitely do the job. Like, so yeah, they were fine for me. Probably read, I think, 3 or 4. Lamin Kamara says, all performances from everyone, including James Gandolfini. Are you a fan of The Sopranos? Yeah, I mean, he was great in this, incredible in The Sopranos. So yeah, I love that show. It's been a good few years since I've last seen it. I think I only really watched it once all the way through, but brilliant. Skip Cole says, you're inspiring. No, thanks, man. I fought in the Cold War against bad ideas and thought we had won. I think a lot of us did. But bad ideas keep coming back, and guys like you and the literature devil fight against them. Sincere respect. Well, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. Marcel Davis says, what do you think about Peaky Blinders, Drinker? Good. Yeah, it's really good. The production values are great. The cast is brilliant. It's a setting as well that you don't often see. When you talk about gangster shows or movies, you kind of think like Chicago or something during Prohibition, whereas it's over here in the UK and like Birmingham, just after World War II. It's such a different kind of setting, but it works really well. So yeah, I really like it. What's the next one here? Quentin Johnson, have you seen Tomorrow War? Yeah, man, I'm getting asked that a lot, but no, I haven't seen it yet. Madge Max says, Drinker, I have to say you brighten my day every time I watch. Thank you very much. Keeping that common sense, I own the float in the sea of woke that try to keep us going. I'll do my best, man. Thank you. Jonas Larson says, we're well beyond the super chats from the last stream, but here's another one to keep this stream going. Thank you, mate. Blue Spoderman says, how do I make videos like you, and what made you start? You're a Glasgow spec bam. Thanks. I mean, initially I just got into making videos because I wanted to learn a bit about video editing. Like, I'd seen so many other people doing YouTube videos, and I thought it'd be interesting to try my hand at it. I wanted to know a lot more about the process of putting these videos together, getting the footage, doing the scripting, doing the editing and all that. My writing career kind of took off, and so I put YouTube to the side for like many years. I just focused on writing books and made like 9 novels that I've had published. And then, yeah, I kind of started to get the urge to come back to it, particularly when I started to see how movies were going and what was happening to like some of my favorite franchises. And being a writer myself, I thought, well, maybe I've got an insight that I can share with people, and maybe people might be interested in it. And it kind of went from there, I guess. And it seems to have worked out pretty well so far. Moist Deluxe says, always great work, man. Appreciate all your content. I just watched the Resident Evil game series. Oh, great. Thank you. Cheers, man. Yeah, that's some of my older stuff before I was properly drunk. But yeah, I really enjoyed making those videos. Just having that real enjoyment, that passion for the Resident Evil games. You know, I've just got a real fondness for them, so it was great to be able to talk about them a bit. What's the next one? Yeah, Orwell's The Ends Well saying, what type of watch is that? +2, good content, mate. Cheers. This is a diesel watch. Sorry, you can't really see it here. I'll hold it up to the camera. Yeah. I have to bend my arm the wrong way. But yeah, it's a diesel one. It's great because people think it's like really expensive, but it's totally not. So yeah, it's quite nice. I like it. It fits me well. Wormy Spoons says, Drinker, you really should watch Raised by Wolves. It's good writing with all the look of Ridley Scott. Great sci-fi TV. Good luck with Tomorrow War. Thank you. Yeah, I've heard good things about Raised by Wolves. So I'm going to put a light on because it's getting really fucking dark in here and I can barely see. That's better. Yeah, I've heard good things about it and I'll make the time to watch it because, damn, I could do with good sci-fi. Milo Sorian says, greetings from France, Drinker. You recommended Bat 21, so I counterattack with The Beast of War. Yes, seen that one. It's about a Soviet tank during the invasion of Afghanistan, and they're getting pursued by like the Mujahideen after they run over one of the fighters. And I think one of their guys gets taken prisoner by the enemy, but he ends up helping them because they basically like fuck him over. So yeah, it's a really good film. I liked it. It's been a long time since I've seen it as well. So, man, I think you might have inspired me. I might have to review it. Gennaro Sains says, Drinker, could you give a review on The Way of the Gun? Damn good shootout movie with Benicio del Toro. The first 5 minutes will blow you away. Cool. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually, for a review. I'll keep it in mind. Spectrum Goated says, hey, Drinker, relatively new to your channel, but I've been in most of the vids. Love your content, sir. Thank you for making it. Thank you very much, man, and it's a pleasure to do it. Raised by Wolves here says, hello from California. Thank you for your videos. You say perfectly what my jumbled brain wishes it could articulate. Could you review Gleaming the Cube, lesser-known movie with a young Christian Slater? I've never even heard of that one, but I'll take a look. Ken B says, dude, remember 1983 Brainstorm? What's up with that? Christopher Walken, etc. I don't remember that one, I'm afraid, but if it's got Christopher Walken in it, that's a sign of quality. Norbert Nagy says, hi, just saw Black Widow. Well, it was pretty meh, but you're awesome. Thank you, mate. Yeah, that was another movie to review. God. Yeah, I'm just glad it's done now. I don't have to think about Black Widow anymore. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, Bam Bam Bigelow says, the beast running over the Afghan scene bothered me. Yeah, it probably should, because it is kind of horrific. Like, getting run over by a tank is a pretty unpleasant way to go. Okay, what's the next super chat? Damn, where's it gone? Oh yeah, here it is. Dan S says, how can I support my favorite critic while giving the Susan the finger and get a PayPal? I've got Patreon and I've got Subscribestar. So if you go to basically any one of my videos and look in the comment section, I've usually pinned a comment saying, like, you know, if you want to support my channel, you can go to these different things, or you can take a look at my books on Amazon and just whatever seems right to you, man. But yeah, I'm on all of those different donation services. And it's a good way to chat to me because when I get messages, I always respond to them on it. Prepper Chris 1 says, can't wait till your review of Space Flop 2. Cheers. Yeah, I've heard that Space Jam 2 is garbage. Yeah, it's not a good movie. I mean, LeBron James is no Michael Jordan, so I don't know what they were hoping for. Mohammed Sides gave me $1, so thank you, sir. Joshua Levesque says, hey, Drinker, huge fan here. Love your content, so thank you for all of it. Also, I'm a mod for RMB and would love to mod for you if you're interested. Cheers. Yes, I've been recommended that I get some mods for my chat, so I probably will. So I will look you up. I'll speak to Robert and see if we can get something sorted, man. So thank you for volunteering. Mako Jag says, did you like the Raise the Titanic movie? Christ, that's an old one. I remember it. I remember the actual sequence of it getting raised was really cool. Like a lot of really good model work that actually looks pretty decent. Yeah, it's a Clive Cussler book. I think they're looking for some like super powerful mineral that was on board the Titanic when it sank, and so they've got to raise the entire ship just to get to it. Kind of insane plot, and I think in retrospect, I think the Titanic broke in half when it sank. So obviously they don't really show that, like it's all in one piece when it comes up. But hey, it's cool. Yeah, it's a nice 80s Cold War sort of adventure story. Claudio Rogajan says, you excited for the Sopranos prequel, Many Saints of Newark? Also, it's 96 degrees here in Virginia with humidity. I don't think you would survive here. Nah, I really fucking wouldn't. See, when I'm in Florida, right, I've been there quite a few times. I went once in like July, and honestly, like the steam was just hanging in the air. It was like being in a tropical rainforest. Damn, I think I lost like 2 stone when I was there. But yeah, it's not for me. Like us Scottish people are not built for the heat. I'm not terribly excited about the Sopranos prequel. Again, being that it's made today, I just don't really trust them to do a good job on it. Nick Macobina says, ever read any of Eric Lustbader's work? I haven't, I'm afraid, so I don't know about it. Brian Drewy here, just in chat, was saying, yes, Mad Max. Yes, I need to review that for sure. I'd like to actually do Fury Road as well, because for a movie made pretty recently, it's actually really good. I'll give them their dues with that one. What's the next one? Craig Lee the Craig Lee Lawrence Experience gave me a thumbs up super sticker, so thank you, mate. Dr. Zawadin says, do you have a real job or just writing and being a cynic? Yeah, my job is to be cynical as fuck. No, this is it. I mean, I do my YouTube channel and I publish books, and that's enough to keep me going, pretty much. I have worked other jobs in the past. I've done like web design and copywriting, that sort of thing. But yeah, I was able to kind of leave that behind and move into YouTube full time. I mean, it's, you make a decent sort of income from it, I would say. Evil Zombie Toe says, I apologize in advance for this, but can you do a proper English accent? Well, I don't know, boy. It's a very difficult thing to do, I'll have you know. Yeah, I can't really sustain it for long, I'm afraid. What's the next one here? Yeah, Jeffrey Paris says, Will, I have a new business and we are considering sponsoring some YouTubers. We'd love to talk to you and your agent about it. What's the best way to contact you? Probably just contact me through my business email address on my channel. That's the best way to get me. Chris Russell says, hello, drinker. It was the British Grand Prix today. On that theme, which would you prefer to watch, Rush or Senna? Good question. I'd say Senna if I had to pick between the two. Both good films, though. Kem Bannon says, how many movie review suggestions do you get a week? How do you really feel about it, and how do you decide what movie to review? I mean, it's a tough one because, yeah, you'll get so many people who want, they've obviously got their favorite movie in mind, and they're like, oh, I'd love to hear you review it. And you just can't do them all. With the best will in the world, there's thousands of movies out there and you never get through them all. It's like having a banquet and you can only sample like one tiny little piece, every week. But you just try and pick the ones that I guess mean something to you. Like the last thing I would want to do is review a film that I just didn't care about one way or the other, because I would just have nothing interesting to say about it. So yeah, sometimes people have suggested ones to me and it will almost like remind me of that film, like how good it was. And I was like, oh shit, I'd forgotten there. Yeah, I'd love to talk about that one. And that's what gets me going. So quite a few of the ones on Drinkers Extra Shots are from fan suggestions that just spurred me on to do it. What's the next one here? John Burns says, both Africa versus Cuba. Is Cuba worse off because South Africa is in the Commonwealth? I don't know, man. I mean, Cuba's a communist dictatorship, so it's pretty bad off, in my opinion. Ken B says, it's cool. Lots of movies out there. Love your comments. You too. You're the man. Thank you very much, man. It's yeah, like I say, I wish I could review more movies more quickly. But you can only do what you can do. But yeah, I certainly enjoy being able to do it. It's a really privileged position that I've got. what have we got here? Midtown Cabinetry and Design says, have you seen the dark humor movie Clay Pigeons with Joaquin Phoenix and Vince Vaughn? No, I haven't seen that one, mate. Don't know about it. Michael Rivera says, I love your channel, but in some village along the equator or some remote underground base in Antarctica, one of your subscribers may be the next Quentin Tarantino. What path do you suggest for them from fan to screenwriting? Damn, man, I don't know. I mean, how do you take someone who's not produced any scripts or anything and turn them into Quentin Tarantino? I mean, I think he once said, like, I never went to film school. I went and saw films. Like, that's how he did it. He just watched a lot of movies. He understood gradually what worked about them and how they were structured, how they were put together. And then he began to apply that to his own work. And seems like a pretty decent way to learn to me. Yeah, I think... You know, I certainly, when it came to writing books and stuff, like I was never taught, I never did a creative writing class or anything like that. I just started doing it and then gradually got better and figured out what worked and what didn't and went from there. That's my best suggestion, is learn through practice. Curtis Nelson says, do you have an opinion of Hollywood having such a bias in casting so many British, European or Australian actors being so heavily cast as Americans? Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know why. I don't know why they do it. I mean, I assume these British actors can put on a pretty decent American accent. I don't often hear them getting criticised for being, like, fake or anything. Yeah, I'm not sure what causes it. Maybe they're cheaper than American actors, so that they're easier to get that way. Yeah, I'm not sure. It is a strange one, though, because it's not like you're short of good American actors or anything. Scotty Rocker says, Drinker, love your channel. You crack me up and make me think. You also inspired me to create a show on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks. Nice one, man. Good luck with that. Sam School says, huge fan. Would you consider doing a short pass as the Drinker so we can see what you look like when recording? How do you mean? Like, so like when I'm doing my like actual reviews, I appear on screen. I did that on my Highlander video, actually. I was even wearing a kilt for it. Damn. So yeah, you can see me in a video as the Drinker right there. Just watch the Highlander video I made. What's the next one here? I like this one from Scooter Tart saying, directors think that most Brit actors have a theatre background. Yeah, so they're like classically trained. Yeah, Willow Wookie says, I watched Raised by Wolves and thought it was 4 episodes too long. That's interesting. I mean, I'm fine if like the bulk of it's good. If it's just a little bit too slow paced, I can live with that, you know. What's the next one? Oh yeah, Claudia Rogajan says, have you seen Craig Zahler filmed like Bone Tomahawk or Dragged Across Concrete? Pretty interesting movies, and he has a unique voice, I feel. Yeah, I've seen the bits from Bone Tomahawk that everyone talks about, and damn, that's a hard watch. I've not seen Dragged Across Concrete, though, so I don't know if his films have just got a reputation for being, like, really brutal and gruesome and stuff. Maybe that's his style, in which case, fair enough. Jonas Larson says, have to ask, what is your microphone setup? Sounds like any bump to the desk makes a thump in the audio. Thought it was solved, but hear it currently. Yeah, sorry, that's probably just the microphone's close to the desk right now, so it's kind of out of shot. Just so it wasn't like in the way of like my face or anything. But apologies if you're getting a bit of audio interference. I'm also sitting quite far back from it, so hopefully everyone can hear me. But it's just yeah, it's just a blue snowball microphone. Like there's nothing special about it at all. That's maybe why the audio's shit. Rebecca Gold says, I'd love to hear what you think of 1974, The Taking of Pelham 123, one of my favourite films. Yeah, I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen the original. I've only seen the remake with like John Travolta, which was kind of shit. So hopefully the original's better. LJ gave me £5, so thank you, sir. Joshua Levesque says, you can reach me on Twitter at Joshua D Lev. Cool, thank you. V8 Matey says, please watch 71 Into the Fire. 71 South Korean cadet soldiers are left behind to guard their school and left to defend the country from North Koreans. Wow, that sounds quite good, actually. John Burns says, have you seen the Grabbers movie yet, or are you busy answering super chats? Yeah, I'm answering super chats. Thinking of the critical drinker watching the movie and drinking and laughing makes my heart grow 3 sizes bigger. Oh, I've got to watch it then, because I'm sure you asked me about this last time. The Grabbers. Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Orwell's The Ends Well says, Scarface was a garbage movie. That is only deified by American idiots. Scarface is the bad guy, just an FYI. I mean, he is the bad guy. He's not a nice man. But I thought it was a pretty damn good movie. And that shootout at the end, Jesus, it's worth it for that, if nothing else. John Burns says, John Sessions mentioned that the idea of the British actor playing the German big bad in a movie, as Americans still regard Britain as an evil monarchy. We are an evil monarchy and we're coming to get ya. William Geisler says, would like to hear a review on Jeremiah Johnson starring Robert Redford, one of my favourites no one seems to talk about. Damn. Yeah, I'm assuming that's quite an old one then. Prepper Chris 1 says, thanks for wasting your time so we don't have to. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's not always fun, but well, someone's got to do it. Chris H says, hi, Drinker, love your work. Didn't realize you did a Highlander review. Love that movie. We'll have to look that up. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, man. And I hope you enjoy the review. It's basically talking about how I don't think we need a Highlander remake starring Henry Cavill. Much as I like Henry Cavill, just give him original stuff to do. Stop trying to remake things. The Schmidt House says, any thoughts on a sequel to District 9? I loved that movie. Yeah, I loved it too. It was great. I just think too much time's passed now, and I don't think there's really much to be gained by doing a sequel. It felt like a pretty self-contained story as it was, but I would love to see. I'd love to see the director do more stuff. I would, like I was saying with Dankula, we would have loved to have seen his take on Aliens, because that would have been an awesome thing to see. LJ says, I'm a huge fan of your work, man. Would you consider doing more live streams with Count Dankula talking about Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant? I'm up for it if he is, because, yeah, it was great to finally talk to him, and I think we both had a good laugh doing it. We both said that it was good fun, and, yeah, we'll try and do some more. Alex Spastic says, thank you for I can't get the words out. Thank you for promoting the good stuff. Thanks, man. It took me about 3 attempts to get through that one, but I got there. Steve O'Devil says, it's a good Sunday, getting to hear the Drinker. Have a good day, y'all, and have a good day to you, man. John Burns says, ever seen The Equalizer's Edward Woodward in Breaker Morant? Great movie. Aussies put on trial over incidents that happened in the Boer War. No, I've never seen that, actually, but that sounds pretty interesting, actually. The Boer War is not one that I know much about. Naked Flame, Fame here saying, I like Dankula, but I can't understand a bloody word he says. I know neither of us can understand each other. That's the Scottish thing. We just kind of make things up as we go along. Oh, Scooter Tart here saying, are you a fan of The Keep, Drinker? A forgotten Michael Mann film with a great cast. Yes, I remember The Keep, actually. Yeah, I liked it. It's got this really, like, it does a lot of slow motion and stuff. It's obviously like got that supernatural element to it anyway. Like a group of Germans like guarding some bunker or castle during World War II, and then they start getting picked off by like some evil spirit within it. It's a pretty cool film. It's very different from what you might expect. So yeah, I like it. John Burns said, heading out, Canada's playing the US at the Gold Cup. Nice. A winner draw. They finished first in the group. Hoping to cheer Canada on to qualifying for the 2022 World Cup from September to June. Well, best of luck with that, man. I hope they get through. All right. I think that's probably it, actually. I managed to get through all the super chats, so nice one. Oh, no, here's a couple. Every time I say that, one comes in. Black Star says, hey, Drinker, what's your opinion on the Prince of Egypt? Oh, fuck, what was that again? I need to look this up, because it totally rings a bell, and I feel like I've seen it, but I just need to make sure that I'm thinking of the right film. Give me 1 second here, the Prince of Egypt. Oh, yeah. Disney film, animated one. God, I must have just been young when it came out, but yeah, I don't remember too much about it, if I'm honest with you. I'm pretty sure I have seen it, and I think it was enjoyable enough at the time, but I would really need to rewatch it to give you a proper opinion on it. There was one other here. Danny Numero says, "Hey Drinker, just curious, what kind of music do you listen to?" Yeah, I got this asked on the last live stream. I'm listening to pirate metal at the moment. I love that stuff, and there's a band called Ailstorm that I'm going to be seeing in December. That I'm a big fan of. They're going to be playing over in Glasgow, so yeah, that's my music at the moment. Turquoise Orm Z8 says, watching Pusher trilogy, Danish crime recommended. Okay, so yeah, Scandi crime is like a genre that I'd never quite gotten into. I always find it really slow paced. I mean, I know that's kind of the point of it. Oh, someone's saying I missed a couple of chats. Did I? I'll bring up the list because it gives me a full list of all the super chats. Make sure I don't miss any. Oh yeah, I did miss one here. Claudio Rogajan says, ever read the original Rambo book? Very interesting seeing the differences. Rambo is not the hero whatsoever in the book. Yeah, I've not read it, but I know the synopsis of it. And he dies at the end. He gets killed by Troutman. And it goes into a lot more detail, I think, about Teasel as well, how he's like a Korean veteran and Rambo's like obviously a Vietnam veteran, and it's like two different generations going up against each other. Yeah, very different from the movie. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that they didn't kill him, obviously, in the movie, because then we got like one of the greatest action franchises of all time. Yeah, Danny. Oh yeah, so that was the only one that I missed, so it's okay. Yeah, Jockey300 says, Drinker, are you from Glenrothes? You've mentioned it a few times in your vid, and I'm wondering if we've met before, or if you're simply aware of its monumental rubbishness. Aye, I'm not from Glenrothes, but I've been there plenty of times, and yeah, I know what the place is like. I'm sick of all the fucking roundabouts as well. They're everywhere, god damn it. But yeah, it's not that far away from me. It's just down the road. If you like pirate metal, have you ever checked out Running Wild? That's from Bird Up. No, I haven't actually. But if they're playing pirate metal, I'll give them a listen. So yeah. Skip Cole says, has Brie Larson offered you money to stop talking about her? Could you be a guest on her YouTube channel? I don't know. Never heard from her. Yeah, I've not made any videos about her in like a year or something, and I've got no plans to really. It's not. I don't want to be one of those weird channels that produces like 50 different videos ranting about her or anything. But I think she's stopped doing YouTube now. I think she's back to just doing movies. Conan Edward gave me $5, so thanks, sir. Also, he was asking, what's your thoughts on Forescape? Love it. Love Forescape. Great show, and it was absolutely one of my favorites back in the day. Yeah, it's such a shame that it got cut short. Like they got, I think, 4 seasons out of it, and yeah, then it kind of just died a death. I think season 4 it went a little bit too quirky and a bit too weird, and I think most people just couldn't quite handle that. Yeah, I think that's all of them actually. So listen, guys, what I'm going to do, I want to go and see Tomorrow War, so I'm going to go and give it a watch, and then I can get cracking on a review of it. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to say thanks for everyone for tuning in on this. I know it's just a catch up for super chats, but thank you for everyone for watching it and for adding even more super chats to it. Like, your generosity is just it blows me away every time. I really appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the kind comments and all of that stuff. So thank you very much to all you guys. Oh, there's just one more here, actually. I better do it because I don't want to miss one. V8 Matey says, the hunting party, a journalist, a cameraman, and a discredited war correspondent go on an unauthorized mission to find the #1 war criminal in Bosnia. God damn, that sounds good. The hunting party. I'll give that a look. But yeah, anyway, that's me finished up for now. So I'm going to say thank you very much to everyone, and that's all that I've got for today. So have yourselves a great night, and I'm going to go away now.